Welcome to Tier 1. This book that you're about to start is about a family in a post-apocalyptic world where resources are scarce. And so anyone that has survived has been separated based on genetic viability. So if they have fantastic genetic profiles, they are able to have more resources, and they are in the upper tier called Tier 1, which is the title of this book. So you're about to meet Kate, Eric, and their two kids, Tal and Bentley. This is the prologue and chapter 1. So by the end of chapter 1, you're going to have a feel for who this family is and just how normal life can feel even in a very unique future.
Prologue. How will it work? The woman in the room asks, gently tucking an errant strand of hair behind her ear.
We need to move sensitively. Grace, you'll need to do your research on this one, the man responds, scanning through information on his display.
Just outside the door to the room, a man slowly shifts his weight to the other foot, trying to catch a glimpse of the face in the chair. The room is clean and sterile, the light blue shirt on the man standing out like a spring flower against the dismal hues on the walls. Is this completely necessary? The woman asks hesitantly.
We believe it is. All of the data we have analyzed,
It's a lot to ask of them, she whispers, cutting him off. He smiles knowingly, folding his arms and leaning back against his chair.
Not when you think about the effect this could have on individual lives over the next 200 years. We are at the cutting edge. Humans are like any other mammals, after all. Cerebral mammals, but stimuli-driven nonetheless. With the technology we have available, nobody will suffer.
He pauses, tapping his fingers lightly on the metal table in front of him.
Is that your concern?
She doesn't answer, and the silence is deafening.
Grace, if there's a problem here, he says, a warning in his tone.
From his limited vantage point, the man in the hallway sees the woman's shoulders stiffen. No problem, she replies. The scraping of a chair against the floor sends a shot of adrenaline through the watcher's arms, leaving his hands tingling. He knows he should go, but his curiosity pushes him to stay put.
Your compassion will serve you well in this position, Grace. This transition will be infinitely easier under your sensitive care. There aren't many I trust to have the perspective needed to do the hard things.
Thank you, sir. Her voice is audibly shaken, and she clears her throat.
Compensation, shall we discuss? All taken care of, he interrupts. Exactly what you would expect.
Hearing footsteps approach the door, the man in the hallway propels himself around the corner as noiselessly as possible. He wipes the sweat from his forehead and sits down on the bench in the hallway. Breathing deeply, he tries to calm his frantic heart rate. Something to do. I need something to do, he thinks, forcing himself to breathe normally. He reaches down and unties his shoe, then begins to retie it.
Nick? I didn't realize you were coming so early.
At the sound of his name, the watcher looks up to see the director walking toward him.
You and Grace have already been introduced,
the director says cheerily, motioning to the woman next to him.
Come with us. Let's get started.
Chapter 1. I gasp awake to see a pair of eyes an inch from my face. A lock of blonde hair is swept across the still sweaty forehead of my 7-year-old, but the eyelashes are what get me. They are impossibly long and thick. Life isn't fair. Good morning, Mom, Bentley says with an impish grin. Did I scare you? Yes, I groan, reaching out to pull him in next to me. Why do you have to be so creepy? It's disturbing to wake up to someone that close to your face. He giggles and cuddles in under the blankets, his pointy toes like daggers against my thighs. It's not my fault. I have your genes, he retorts. I was never that strange, I sigh, squeezing him tight. I'm not ready to get up yet, so I guess you're just stuck here a while. But I'm really hungry. That's why I came in, he complains in a muffled voice, squirming to escape my arms. Tell your dad. He's the best at making breakfast. I kick my leg over to the opposite side of the bed and catch Eric in the calves.
Mom's making that up. She's just trying to make me feel good about myself, he groans, rubbing his eyes. She is far superior at making a good breakfast, he continues groggily, rolling over and ruffling his hair. Dad, I just brushed that. I suppress a laugh. Bentley has suddenly taken an interest in hygiene the last few months. It's adorable and frustrating, but mostly adorable. I can't complain. At least he's bathing now. You brushed your hair before breakfast? I ask in mock horror. Doesn't everyone? And I'm really hungry. Can you please get up? He whines, slipping out from under the covers and pulling on my arm. Dad wanted to make breakfast, remember? He told me he wanted to make pancakes today. I barely get the last word out because Eric is tickling me. Bent, think of those pancakes Mom made the other day. The best! You want those, right? Yes. Can we have chips in them? He asks eagerly. Okay, I give up, I say, throwing my hands up in surrender and gasping for breath. I will make pancakes, but no chips. Sorry, bud. We hit our weekly max for refined sugar yesterday, and it doesn't reset until the weekend. But we still need to get in some fruit for the week, so how about blueberries? I ask, hoping to avoid any resistance. Yes, okay, I'll go get the flipper. Can I be the flipper this time? Tal did it last time. If Tal did it last time, then yes, your turn. His little legs kick out of the room before I even finish my sentence. We have to get him some pants that don't fall off. All I see every day is little boy bum, I mutter. Good luck with that. He got my non-hips. I still can't find pants that fit, Eric laughs. I'm okay if your pants fall off. Yeah, but kind of inconvenient in the lab. True. He kisses me softly and then flips the comforter off of me, exposing my bare legs to the morning chill. You better get on those cakes. I hate you a little bit. I can't wait to eat them. I smack him lightly as I get out of bed and pull on my robe. You won this one, but I'll get it back, I say, flashing him a sinister grin. The sweet smell of victory and pancakes. He pulls the covers back over his head. I might be annoyed if I didn't know his sensor was going off in 2 minutes. I walk downstairs to find Bentley ready by the stove, on the step stool, flipper in hand. The sun is streaming in through the window over the sink, making the colors in the kitchen warm and inviting. When we were assigned this house, I felt like the luckiest girl in our territory. In an effort to save resources, the committee refurbished different sections of the city as soon as possible after the crisis. They used materials collected from some of the more dilapidated areas, but obviously had to put everything through a cleansing process. It took years to open up permanent housing. I shudder, imagining trying to raise a family or even taking care of your own needs, crammed into a safe zone holding center. Mom, here's the measuring cup, Bentley says, pulling it out of the drawer and handing it to me as I put the rye berries into the grinder. I don't take for granted that it could have been us in that situation, pioneers in the initial tier system. In terms of societal progress, we aren't that far removed. After the crisis, we weren't picking up at society's peak. We were in recovery from almost 80 years of decline and societal rot. Any industrial or scientific progress that had been made up to that point was in a state of exponential loss. We had to recover that knowledge, reinvent those processes, rebuild the prototypes, stop the bleeding. It didn't take long for the tier system to eliminate the initial chaos, but the gaping fissure in our collective advancement wasn't so easily filled. We are still battling to regain what was lost. I let Bentley mix the dry ingredients while I heat up the griddle. It should only take a minute or two to get to temperature, which is just enough time to add the goat's milk and eggs without wasting energy. I swoop around the kitchen, gathering the last few ingredients, and allow Bentley to add them. The simple act of cooking with my son causes my heart to swell, overwhelmed with gratitude for those who came before. They prepared a foundation for me to live a comfortable and meaningful life. The fact that Eric and I could pair and immediately have a permanent home is incredible. The fact that it fits us so perfectly is my little secret. I pause and watch Bentley carefully pour the batter. An unintended drip falls to the counter and I quickly sweep it up with my finger. Then I pull up his pants.